Well, I want to take a look at the ban on Twitter and, of course, what next for Nigerians. You heard the ban announcement. It was done on Twitter, banning Twitter. Now, that's like an irony, but all the same, the rule or the law or the ban is in effect. And, of course, the AGF, has given a stern warning to telecommunications companies to follow suit, ban Twitter, or else you'll be sanctioned. Many Nigerians are like talking about it. Even US reacted, saying a ban of Twitter would just undermine Nigeria. That is not cool. Some are saying it's for the betterment of the nation, all right? That Mr. President choose to tweet to instigate fear, to make those people to come back to their senses, because come on, 30 months war, nobody really want to go through that again. I don't think he's making sense in what he's saying. Was Twitter biased in deleting his comment? But don't forget, he's not the first president that Twitter choose to remove the comment. Not even banned, because Trump was banned from using Twitter. But in our case, it was just a statement that was removed by Twitter. Is that enough to get a little bit perturbed by saying enough of Twitter operation in the country? My analyst will be the one to throw more light on this. With me here in the studio, I have Barrister Patrick Isekwelo, a distinguished legal practitioner, a notary public of Nigeria, and the state chairman of the Nigerian Society of International Law, Edo State Chapter, human rights activist extraordinary. Wow, only one man. Barrister Patrick, welcome to TMI Sunday's edition.
Good morning.
All right.
Yeah, happy viewing.
All right. And of course, I also have Barrister Matthew Edeges, a distinguished legal practitioner, and of course, a human rights activist, a political analyst, a top-notch lawyer in Edo State, and of course, Nigeria, even international. Welcome, Barrister Matthew. Appreciate your coming.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So very close to him is a human rights activist, a political analyst, a vibrant youth. Join me to welcome Festus Osarabo. Festus, welcome to TMI Sunday's edition. Well, there is this belief that youths are, more of the persons engaging using Twitter, and is going to have this backlash in their community. I want to start off from you, Festus. What do you feel about this?
I want to say we are beginning to experience another era in Nigeria. Although since 2015 has been like this, we are supposed to be progressing, but I would say we are progressing. Like you said before, this is not the first president to be banned. But Buhari wasn't banned, just the tweets removed. We have about 29 million, and about 69% are into Twitter. That your tweet was removed and you just wake up and say, Nigerians, you don't have rights to Twitter again. It's assault. It's something that shouldn't come into the space of life. And as a social media person, this is going to have effect on a lot of us. There are information you need to disseminate. There are information you need to pass. There are information you need to send to people. At times you try to reach them, you can't reach them on phone. The next thing you do is you go to social media. You just post. Before you know, the person pick up the phone and call you, okay, I've seen it, I've seen it. There are lectures going on Twitter. People are benefiting from it. There are intellectual forums on Twitter that someone would have to wake 4 a.m., hook up to Twitter and begin to press. This individual is being replenished. This individual is getting information. People make money from Twitter. Nigerian youth make money from Twitter. We sell goods from Twitter. Now, let's go to the international community. A businessman will sit down in front of his house in UK, US, Canada, or France and begin to read a president, because his tweet was removed from Twitter, decided to say no more Twitter in that country. If I'm that individual plans to come to Nigeria to invest, I'll keep my money to myself. So this thing is going to have a lot of effect on Nigeria.
All right.
It's going to have big effect intellectually, business-wise. There are a lot of religious issues going up on Twitter. People preach in that same Twitter. So it's going to have a lot of effect on us.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Festus. Barrister Matthew, what do you feel about this? Because it's like there's no going back for this time being on the ban on Twitter.
It has, Nigeria has sunk to an abysmal level of socio-political retrogression that if the president is not happy, he punishes the citizen for his personal emotional swing. The problem with the reckless decision by the Nigerian state of banning Twitter, like you rightly observed, Twitter did not ban the president. They just removed his tweet, his offensive tweet, wherein he was threatening war on his own citizens, that he's going to replicate what he did to the Igbos during the civil war 50 years ago in the year 2021. That itself is against national security, that tweet. It's against Nigerian national interest. Threatening war on the citizen is not a security, it's not a pro-security act by the president. It's anti. So deleting that offensive tweet was to engender national security of the nation. But for the president to now react by doing what is unthinkable, banning the entire social media outfit and denying millions of Nigerians from the use of a medium through which they express their own, they express themselves. The freedom of expression is what he has banned, not necessarily Twitter. Because Twitter is an organization, a worldwide organization. Nigerians will still tweet, as we are observing now, outside the official framework. And that is already happening. They have bypassed the formal channel. They are still tweeting. You cannot impose a ban on the people's freedom of expression because your offensive tweet, which is against the rights of the national, the city of the nation you are governing, was removed.
All right. But according to the presidency, that wasn't offensive. It's for national cohesion.
He can't tell us that what offends our sensibility is not offensive. It's not to dictate to us. We are all humans. We are adults. We are intelligent people. We are not a garden of morons. The president is not more educated than most Nigerians, an average Nigerian. And I doubt if he's as educated as an average Nigerian.
Well, let's not go into
no,
that.
these are facts that are in public domain. We know his qualification.
Well,
it's not a university degree holder.
He is educated.
That is certain.
He is educated. Let's leave it at that.
An average Nigerian is a graduate. That's what I'm telling you.
I wouldn't want to go into that right now. Barrister Matthew, please, what's your emotions? Please?
Emotion is not there.
Right.
Stating the fact is not emotional outburst.
I'll come back to you. Now, from what you said, he said he reacted emotionally. Someone may just liken it to as throwing tantrums as what ought not to be, because according to so many analysts, this is not enough to get you angry to ban Twitter. How do you feel about this, Barrister Patrick?
Well, the action of the president was a shocking one on the ban of Twitter. I think it's amounts of called executive rascality.
No, many people will disagree with that.
I will come to that. Why it's amount of executive rascality. The way and manner it was done. You see, the action is not only barbaric and draconian. It's a calculated attempt to silence Nigerian youths. Yes, it's a calculated attempt to silence them. That is the main intention of the president.
But don't forget that we have other social media platforms. Apart from Twitter.
But at least I'm coming, sir.
All right.
Yeah, because he said the activities tend to undermine the complete system of Nigeria. We have not seen where the activities tend to undermine. With all due respect, let us say the truth. He was the one that violated the rules governing Twitter. That's why it was deleted. Anything that promotes the others doing war is the violation of the rule. You just told me about the NBC rule guideline. I'm about to stick to it. They have rules. You don't just bring such a thing to their Twitter. Because they will help. Based on that, they deleted it. So by banning Twitter, will not solve any problem at all. Because just as Nigerian, they are too intelligent to listen that they can act anywhere. They will see enjoy it. It will not work. Because I believe that the model don't have, they cannot give what you don't have. Don't forget that the operational where they base is Ghana. They don't have anything in Nigeria here. It's Ghana. You're not at me. So it will not stop them from doing their work. So the issue is that I told you, the main thing is it was done in bad faith, mana fide. The action of the president, too hasty, too so quick, so before. Like he has made up that mind, but you know how to respect the wish of the Nigerian people. Because I look at it as an embedment, it's just an abridgment. It guaranteed freedom of expression as guaranteed by Constitution against Nigerians. They have a right to express their view. They have a right for dissemination. They have a right to take. It's guaranteed by the Constitution, and the president vowed to defend the Constitution, which is violating. Fundamental right is not irrevocable. It's not a thing that he can say I will do it. It's a right. A stranger cannot. Yes, it's a right. A stranger. Let him know that any action be taken by him, by employed by anywhere, anytime to any Nigerians, they're compiling. The Nigerian is there. A lot of presidents have been tried for genocide, war crime, different things. You should know if anything happened to Nigeria, it will be held responsible. There's a warlord that we could remember what was the chancellor when he was in, he did all things. Dealt with people, tried to eliminate a race. By the end of the day, where is it today?
Even the Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Yes, it's in prison. Yeah. So nobody's above the war. It's a global village, and they banned a lot of people have reacted. So many people have reacted.
All right.
It's not the interest of it's all for their own selfish this thing, for their own selfish reason.
Okay.
So I don't expect the president to do that. He should, as a matter of urgency, revise it immediately because it will do more harm than good. The youth will not take it lightly. You know that in Nigeria, you know today, 70% of Nigeria are youths.
All right.
They will not take it lightly with him. He should just revise it. Okay. So I don't make the mistake he made by prescribing alcohol. Today we can see the dividends of prescribing alcohol. They are not noticed.
All right. You just calm down, okay? Calm down. Festus, the ban is on the ground already, and according to reports, it has taken effect. And some are trying to separate the president from this because, according to Nigerians, some of them have this mentality that the president is there for the presidency and different also from the federal government. That it might not be Buhari, our president, to say that really talked about that, or will I say banning Twitter, and it could just be, neck that came together and said, look, enough is enough. Let's put this country as one. And moreover, take a look at some tweets on Twitter. According to the allegations against Twitter, they've been termed biased because there are some tweets that are really disheartening. But Twitter allowed to be there. But when it came to our president, it was removed. Don't think that Twitter is biased. And it may not be Buhari that is rightly responsible for this. It could just be, the council coming together to say, this is the action we are going to take.
In China today,
yeah,
there are a lot of social media that are for themselves. They'll tell you, because Twitter is by house, we don't want our people to use Twitter, but they bring out other social media. This is Nigeria, a country where the presidency, let me not use the word president, the presidency, as you said before, the neck and all, they don't sit to actually think, where are we in this country? If they do sit and have deep reasoning, by now there should be a neck meeting, call it president, you can't ban Twitter. Yes, Twitter is biased. Yesterday I was discussing with someone and I told the man that if you actually check the way Africa's stories are being reported, you understand that there is a level of bias in reporting our story. But that notwithstanding, the post the president tweets was not right. You're trying to remind me of what happened years ago. How our forefathers, our fathers were killed. You stayed down in the forest, shooting guns for 30 years. And now you are saying because we are asking...
No, for 30 months.
For 30 months, sorry.
Yeah.
Because we are not asking for a sovereign state, you may be pushed to treat us the way our forefathers were treated. What pain me more is we don't have the national assembly in this country.
Of course we do have.
We do, but they are not functioning optimal.
They are functioning.
Use the word. The reason why I said that is this. You know what happened in this state some time ago? One of our amiable governors stood up and said, no more bike in so-so area. Some group of persons said, no, bike can ply any place. They took the matter to court. About a month ago, the court said, bike have right to ply this place. So as a president, You want to know that you can't just wake up and say this thing ought not to be. There is nothing like a law backing you. Okay, now I am tweeting. We are now using virtual private network to tweet. If the police now come and meet me and say, Sarobo, why are you tweeting? President said not to. I say I'm tweeting. They take me to court. Which law are they going to prosecute me with? So when the president is going astray, the lawmakers should call him and say, Mr. President, this thing ought not to be so. I don't know if you're getting me.
Yeah.
Let's forget about the Twitter being biased or not. What we are saying is, in our own country, are we doing the right thing? If we, as a nation, we are in the right track, we don't have a problem with Twitter. There is no need for that post. If the presidency, let me not use the word president, if the presidency were up and doing, the unrest in the east, the southeast, will not be there. The president have never made a post in regards to the Boko Haram, the bandits, the Fulani S-men, the killer S-men.
Well, we wouldn't want to ascribe banditry or headsmen to a particular tribe, please. That is one of the rules. You should know that.
But what I'm trying to say is, none of his tweets have come up to say that you are doing this will be for you. That is to tell you, the country is not balanced. If what happened was to be in the US, by now there's going to be a big protest.
All right.
Because the people of the north and the southeast will troop to the streets. Meaning you knew about what happened then. Now you are planning a repeat of that same thing. So the National Assembly by now should wake up to their duty. Tell the president, as I warned you, anytime necessary, this thing ought not to be.
Okay.
We are not in a military room where you just wake up and say the Supreme Council have men, will not make a decree like this.
All right.
No.
All right. Now let's take a look at the biased nature according to the presidency of Twitter. Someone referred to a country as a zoo. Burn the zoo. It was there on Twitter, but it wasn't, deleted. There are some other comments, some heinous comments also on Twitter about this great nation, Nigeria. Twitter never deleted those comments. It's still there. You can make reference to them. The only thing the federal government is right in this regard that Twitter, to some extent, is biased. Barrister Matthew.
The Nigerian government is not a member of the board of Twitter. So when the rules are set, and there is a ban on exam malpractice, and there is a punishment or sanction prescribed by whoever is caught indulging exam malpractice, and on the day of examination, the supervisor caught Mr. A committing the offense of exam malpractice and decide to walk him out of the hall and confiscate his own script. It is not a defense for the man who is caught to say, I'm not the only one cheating in this hall. He who is caught violating the rule should be exposed to the sanction by the body in charge of enforcing that sanction. That one person has done it and he has not been caught is not an excuse for a man with extra responsibility. To be leading a nation should not be compared to an individual lifestyle of a private person. If somebody who is a private person, citizen, says something that is not too acceptable, there is less scrutiny of a private citizen's life than somebody holding position of a public office, not to talk of number one citizen of a nation. The president is not just any other Nigerian. Donald Trump's tweets were deleted. In fact, he was banned. The most powerful country in the world and the most powerful president in the world. His tweet was not removed. He was banned by Twitters. Facebook have just banned him for 2 years. This is a nation that even the Twitter owners, they are domiciled there. They originated from there, the investment. Nigeria doesn't have any technology to boast of as a nation. They can't even run any social media platform without a recourse to the international organization to hook up with. So how dare Nigerian president ban Twitter for deleting his tweet, not for banning him? They have a right to even ban him if they wanted to. just like they banned Trump and other presidents. So what the president did was trying to take dictatorship outside the borders of the Nigerian territory to the international community, and is getting bountiful harvest of that misadventure. As we speak now, US has already condemned it officially. The EU, as at yesterday, later of yesterday, have issued a joint statement.
Yeah, US, UK, EU, Canada, Norway, Ireland, others expressed disappointment over FG's ban on Twitter. It's on the Vanguard newspaper.
Yes, he has taken his executive dictatorship to the global arena, and he should be ready to take punches, mighty punches from the world powers. And if, let me state it here, that it is on record in human history that when dictatorship is near its end, it begins to take up fights from every front, and it ends up being consumed by those misadventures. I think that's where the dictatorship is heading.
All right. Anyway, he's not a dictator. He was democratically.
He's a dictator.
No, he was democratically elected. So
dictatorship is not. Dictatorship is the act.
Moreover, according to what he said is to protect the integrity of the country. That's why he made that tweet.
His tweet was undermining the integrity of the country. His tweet was undermining international convention.
It's like taking them memory lines. So this is what happened. Don't let it repeat itself. According to the presidency.
Let me tell you that during the Biafran War, a lot of killings happened, which were war crimes, that people are still clamoring for international attention and redress. And Buhari woke up and said, I was at the forefront of that genocide. And if you don't take care, I will replicate it. You are saying that is for national interest? It's abhorrence.
But someone like saying that would just put the trouble in the southeast into perspective.
How do you tell me?
When the elders remember, they can just hold on to that and say, look, kids, we don't want this to go beyond this
Wilson,
level.
how do you tell me you will kill me the way you killed my father? And you say it is to make me keep calm. It is a challenge for me to revenge.
All right. Okay, I will come back to you, Barrister Matthew.
Yes.
Take it easy. Calm down.
Yes.
Calm down. All right, now, some groups have threatened to take the presidency to court about the ban on Twitter. Do you think that will have any implication? Do you think it's going to reverse the decision already made by the federal government or the presidency?
Yeah, we see now what side is going to have to throw it back in it. I want to say the question.
Yeah.
Because you said the last question you asked here, my brother Matthew, when you said that we're not even sure that it's for president that message.
We voted for a president, not presidency. We didn't elect presidency.
Yes, that was yes. You see,
should take responsibility for
yes, the president, as a president of the country, you take responsibility. Whatever act is done by your agent, you are the one.
We didn't vote for his appointees.
Yes, his agent. When he said it's whatever action of the minister, the president
is virtuously liable.
Yeah. So by now, if he's not the one, I say address the nation on that issue.
He has not debunked it. In fact, he went ahead to now act on it by banning the media.
Yes, because it's the action.
That is ratification.
That is ratification. So it cannot form it out of ignorance. I want you to understand that too well. It might be for the presidency. Based on that, and when we took further step to ban this body, the error you just made was a serious blunder. Well, they can go to court because anybody which agree, any citizen can go to take the president to court based on any action. Any member of the National Assembly, whoever feels agree that this law, because this law has to do with your fundamental right, whether he has that power to that extent. Because by banning me now, I will not have access to such a right. But because you grant me, it's my fundamental right. He has no power. He has been given to us. So he cannot go for each of fundamental, which is a very fundamental issue. They're going to challenge it. Let the court take a decision on that. So whether good or bad, I don't know which I would court arrive at. It might be favorable, it might be other way around. But it's good to try such under democracy, democratic government. So I also want the president to understand that we are operating a democratic government. You understand? You have the democratic government. You have the executive, you have the judiciary, you have the legislative. 3 arms of government. It's not just one body. Forget about 1967. That's a military regime. You should not compare 67 to now. 53 years ago, that's an analog time. What you have now is something
digital,
extraordinary.
The world has gone beyond that.
In population, check that. That population now even up to 20 million.
Try up to that.
We're not 200 million. I don't know. The things you have, material wealth, is not what you have today. They are all digital. So the energy power it has and that time for state now, it does not have it. If you try that, it will end up. It shouldn't be saying such a thing. As a president, I expect him Because you said that 3 years experience was a bad experience. That is the reason you don't not to even do anything that will lead to war. You say you experience it. This woman does not never experience anything. They can not do. You say experience. It's enough for you.
And instigating, it's inciting war.
And as a president, you ought not to do that. If you take a body from our lecturer, when he came in, when the issue of the militants came, this militant, what he did was he was commander in chief of the armed forces. He had all the material with him, the military, the whatsoever. But he said to embrace peace, because peace is cheaper than war. He had to appeal to them, talk to them today. Most all these militants, they all graduates from different Nigerian university. Some overseas students in America, different countries, well paid, was able to calm them. He never used all the power he had today, was to solve that peace. So this one that came and started by war, it will not solve any place. And let me, you don't understand that 67 and 9 are not the same. If the APOP say they are going, there's nothing you can do about it. You are aware, I was here in this very place, this very studio, when you prescribe APOP. We all condemn it. The APOP will not be prescribed. Because you know, they have not been known like S-men. The other terrorist group, they are very they fight for their rights. But it's not enough. That's what you prescribe by IPOP. I'm coming, sir.
Anyway, they've been prescribed.
Yes,
nothing done about that.
But let me, I'm going to say that the food, I think they will just, I told him that what you have just done, my brother, let me tell you, I did a research in insurgency. I know what I'm talking about. I said, but these people cannot be empowered, will be richer, will be everything. You better do so because time, you see the dividend of what you've just done now. As I went today, now you see Northeast is lying on fire. These are people who say it's prescribed and they've gone out.
The Southeast.
Yes, that is. Yeah, they've gone out. You know the Akada is there, who they can.
You can't prescribe a people. Prescribe a region.
All right, but
so
the prescribe.
Says that by last, see, they just have this Oduduwa and APOP now. You know, from 1967, it should let presidents still remember that. It should be aware, and also remember very well that they were given an autonomous, autonomous early last year of November. They were given Oduduwa and APOP. Do not implicate on that very one. The APOP and Oduduwa don't need the federal government to get their independence. Or autonomous.
No. By Sir Patrick, this will put my foot on the ground.
It's on record now. It's on record. I'm saying
the unity of Nigeria cannot be negotiated. So please, let's leave it at that.
Nothing cannot be negotiated.
Let's leave it at that.
No,
everything can be negotiated.
Anyway, Barrister Patrick, just calm down. Okay, I'll come back to you.
So the show with them.
I will come back to you.
So we can wait for peace.
Now the big question now is to call it a wrap on this discussion, because what has been prescribed by the federal government is prescribed, and of course unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable, and we believe that somewhere along the line we're going to find peace in this quagmire. But to call it a wrap on this segment, what next for Nigerians, knowing fully well that the law is on the ground? Twitter has been banned. It's been banned. What next for Nigerians? Festus.
Let me use the word. It's not enough. President don't have the power to wake up and say this thing will no longer exist. I gave you an example of what happened in those states. The constitution is clear for all of us. We all have right to freedom of information. I want to correct something about what you said. You said a certain president once called the country a zoo, a shithole. Let's be frank with ourselves. Let's be frank. Have you gone to
Festus, I know where you're going to. Just leave that part.
Okay, now
leave that part.
It is not a law. If the president like it or not, we will stick to it. VPN is there. It can't do anything. If Nigeria was a media giant that have both internet power,
the server, they don't control the server.
The server, or then they can say, okay, we are shutting everything down. You can't do it.
They don't have the technology to even do it.
We can wake up one morning and decide to hack anything in this country.
Of course.
Are you a hacker?
I'm not a hacker.
So please, are you promoting hacking right now? We are not promoting that, please.
Not that VPN is serving us better. President, as a matter of fact, can keep talking.
All right.
We keep tweeting.
Festus, it's like you're not getting one point. If something is banned, believe you me, they have the tech to ban it. That's the reason why in North Korea, Ministry of Media outfit don't work in North Korea. In China, Ministry of Media outfit don't work in China. They have the capability and they can do it. So let's be clear. Every country have the right over the territorial integrity. When we talk about cyberspace, it's your country, it's your domain. Push of a button, give an instruction, and it will be effected. That's the rule. But since that happened, what next for Nigerians? Barrister Matthew.
We should not mistake the president's private and personal interests for national interest. The two must not be mixed. Democracy is not dictatorship. It's only in a dictatorship. You are mentioning China. China is a dictatorship. It's not a democracy.
It's a democratically elected president.
It's a quasi-dictatorship. Because the way China is a one-party state. Opposition is not tolerated. That is not a feature of a true democracy. Now, you're talking about China banning Twitter and all of that.
Some social media outfits.
Do you know that China?
Some social media outfits.
Yes. Do you know China is a technological giant? Do you know they have alternative?
And tech can be bought.
Yes. And you also know that the so-called ban, the purported ban, is a wishful thinking of the Nigerian president and his kitchen cabinet members. It's not binding on any Nigerian citizen because Constitution guarantees us the right to freedom of expression and the medium through which we can express ourselves. And social media ban can only be properly done when there is genuine and cogent reason, and it must be backed by law. Right. As we speak now, executive proclamation cannot pass for a law that is binding. If you want to punish anybody for this so-called ban, this imaginary ban, under which law will you prosecute me if I tweet now? AG, to the shock of everybody who understand the law of this country, that no citizen can be punished for an offense that is not known to law. It's an elementary criminal jurisprudence. I am surprised that the AG, who is an SAM by coincidence, does not understand this rudiment. That he wants to be punishing citizens for offense.
He understands it too well.
Which court will punish you for an offense that is not
putting national security first.
That is not a law.
National security comes first. Don't forget that.
Listen, there is no way he cannot make law for citizens to be enforced by law.
For now, he said that social media outfit
I ask you the question now.
Is bringing out trouble that would make Nigerians stable.
That's
that
a policy
is the reason why they choose to ban it.
I'm asking you now as a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. I'm a seasoned lawyer. What offense will I be charged for if I tweet now? If I'm brought before a court of law for trial, what will be the charge read out to me? That you hereby commit an offense punishable under what? Under Malami's discretionary powers or executive fiat? Which law, which judge will pronounce on that? Anyway. In fact, I will not even be arraigned. They can't arraign me. Because the offense they are charging me for is not known to law.
All right. Barrister Matthew, thank you so much. The question is still hanging. What next for Nigerians, for crying out loud? Barrister Patrick.
Well, like I said here, we don't need to bother ourselves because it's an infringement of our fundamental rights. With the grammar constitution, I have already stated, I have a right for information. I have to discriminate.
So it's fundamental.
Like I told you, I said, a fundamental right.
You can't wish it away by executive fiat.
The president has no power over that. Okay, it's in on that. It's to our rights. So for me, I will know it. For me, like I told you, that people will see tweets. It's not. You see, when you make law, it's not a law now. You say you don't make. If you make a law, there's a law you made because of an advice. It's not even
in China, there are laws backing up their own. Where is the law in Nigeria? Where is the law in Nigeria?
You've forgotten that a law can be made in Nigeria. Like, nah, this is the law.
Yes.
National Assembly, Senate, speedy access to the law, and becomes the law.
That has not happened. No, that has not happened. It hasn't happened.
It's not go through National Assembly.
You can't speculate.
It's just an executive order. What we try to say is that even if the law is violated, what will you charge somebody for?
Okay.
You see, you cannot charge somebody on an law. It must be fine. Show me in the criminal code. It must be there.
The punishment must be spelled out. The offense must be stated.
Okay.
Thank you. It must be coded.
Thank you. Thank you.
Allow the National Assembly to look at these issues.
Thank you so much.
And try to.
Gentlemen, thank you.
I will tweet as I live here now. I will tweet and say Buhari has committed an offense against our national rights.
No, you just can't say that. Well,
I am saying so.
Even if it's your own opinion, according to the presidency,
it's me. I'm telling you, I will tweet.
It's to protect the nation.
What nation?
Gentlemen,
we are stakeholders.
Thank you, gentlemen.
It's not a private property.
So you mean the ban on Twitter can cause this uproar?
Of course, because so many people depend on it.
Interesting.
Otherwise, the importance.
But anyway,
so many things.
This is a challenge to Nigerian youth. If you're tech savvy, why not bring up something to replace Twitter? Create a social media platform. Get that challenge. Challenge yourself. Twitter is out of the board as we speak right now because the AG have already written letters to telecommunications companies in Nigeria saying we don't want it to operate in your network. Why can't Nigerian youths pick up this challenge, make their own social media outfit? Anyway, the US, the UK, EU, Canada, Norway, Ireland, and so many other countries. They are disappointed over federal government ban on Twitter. It's there on the Vanguard newspaper. Don't you think that the presidency should just have a rethink? And Georgia, rather than war, think about it. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your wonderful analysis. Though temper almost like overtook everything at the end, but you were able to put your emotions under control. Well, let's see how all this will pan out. Their opinions, theirs, it has nothing to do with ITV. But when we talk about freedom of information, it is paramount, it is sacrosanct. People like asking, this is another way to gag the Nigerian populace. Is a question, not an allegation. If no is the answer, what do you think the federal government should do? These are all questions emanating from the hearts of Nigerians. Up next, amendment of the 1999 Constitution. How do you think this will pan out? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.